All right, welcome everyone to another week of Grow. Today, for those of you who are new here, because I think we have a couple new faces, Grow, Get Ready with Entrepreneurs is a gathering of like-minded entrepreneurs interested in building their brand through networking and sharing of ideas and best practices. As much as there will be a focus on topics related to marketing, our goal is to take a holistic approach, building a sustainable business to support our people, planet, and profits. If you haven't connected with Laura or myself yet, please do. We have all of our social media handles listed here. If you'd like to follow along with Acorn Studio Marketing, QR code is in the top right-hand corner. As well, please join our Facebook group if you haven't already. It is seriously amazing, like really great discussions are starting to build up there. And we usually kind of we're starting to do posts at the very end of each one of our grow sessions to see what people have learned and keep the conversation going. So I do encourage you to join our Facebook group. So today we are going to be talking about how to create social media influencer strategy, and this is a giant topic. I'm very excited. So what we're going to cover today is we're going to understand influencer marketing, how to identify the right influencers, becoming an influencer for our own brand, what social media platforms are best, monitoring performance, and then something extra that you can give your influencers. So let's talk about exactly what influencer marketing is. So influencer marketing is a type of marketing where businesses collaborate with influential people. This can often be found on social media. There's different types of influencers, which we will get to. And influencers can have a different range of followers, but particularly they're people that have earned their audience trust. They can be anyone from celebrities to a local influencer. These influencers use their voice and their platforms to spread words about brands that they align with their own values. So why should you care about influencers? It's like, yeah, everybody talks about them, but why are they important? So influencers offer valuable insights, reviews, and content about products and services. They are extremely important because they can connect with their audience and help them make informed decisions, and saving time and ensuring that they get good value for their money. I'm sure most of you would much rather see a demonstration of a product and how it's used before you actually buy it. And that's where these influencers come in, is they can help you make those decisions. In a world where traditional advertising is becoming less effective, influencer marketing stands out as a powerful strategy to connect with audiences and drive business growth. So what are the benefits of influencer marketing? There are lots. For one, you can get different creative perspectives from all of your influencers. Every influencer will have their own tone of voice. It will help you boost your content strategy, targeted exposure, consumer insights, getting more information from your audience based off of how well your influencers do. You can enhance your credibility and trust. So if you get a lot of influencers testing your product and saying that it's working, their audience will have more trust in your product, and that will actually help them. It will help you increase brand awareness, getting in front of more people, increased engagement, a lot of SEO benefits, promotes authenticity. It can be cost effective, and we'll talk a little bit more about that afterwards, because I know we're going to have some questions about that. Will increase conversion rates and help with building your community. So there's different types of influencers, and there's a lot of different categories, but I wanted to highlight the different types of influencers based off of follower count. So we have a nano influencer that has about less than 1,000 followers. We have micro influencers who have followers between 1,000 and like 100K. We have macro influencers that fall into the 100K to 1 million. And then we have the mega influencers that have like the 1 million plus. Those are like the celebrities and the people that don't really have to do anything, but still get followers. And Then I want to get into how we're going to identify the right influencer. So we took a look at the types, we took a look at the benefits, but now how do you get the right ones? So first we want to define our goals. So what are your objectives? You want to have a clear outline, measurable objectives for your influencer marketing campaign. You know, what are you aiming to get from this campaign? And then how are you going to measure your success? So you're going to identify your KPIs, you know, how you're going to be tracking everything. And it could be even like the number of followers or the engagement rate or the conversion rate you get from that campaign. Number two, we want to know your audience. So this is pretty much like before you get started. So your target audience analysis, this is an exercise you're going to do beforehand. Understand the demographics, interests, and behaviors of your target audience, not your influencer's target audience. You'll notice that I've highlighted your in a bunch of these sections because you need to understand your business before you can communicate with an influencer and tell them how they need to promote your business. Because if you don't understand, they are not going to understand.
Yeah.
You also want to, you know, take a look at their audience match. So ensure that the influencer's audience matches your target demographic and common interests. Because if you're reaching out to an influencer that has a whole bunch of followers that actually doesn't even match your audience or people that won't even buy from you, the campaign will be less successful. Next, you want to do some of your research. So research on platform. So determine which social media platform that you, again, your audience uses the most, and then identify influencers that are active on that specific platform. Not to say that they can't be on other platforms, but focus on one first. Then you want to figure out the niche. So look for influencers who are experts in specific niches that are aligned with your brand and products. Number four, evaluate metrics. So you're going to take a look at their engagement rate. So engagement rate actually is, and if you've been following along before, is kind of like a mathematical equation. It is the ratio of engagement that they get on their content compared to the amount of followers that they have. So if they have 1 million plus followers, but their content is only getting 25 likes, maybe a few comments, their ratio is very off. So their engagement rate is actually going to be super low because that means that the followers that they have don't actually care about the content that they're putting out. So ideally, if someone has 100 followers, they should be getting 100 likes. So that is 100% engagement rate. This is also something that you can ask the influencer for if they are willing to provide that information. And most likely they are using a third-party tool to actually help them track what their rate is. So you can ask for that percentage. But even too, just taking a look from like an outsider perspective, and you can notice how well their engagement is. Content quality. So evaluate the quality, authenticity, and relevance of the influencer's content. It should align, again, with your brand's tone and values. So not to say that the influencers can't bring their own creative twist to it, but still make sure that it aligns with your brand, because you have to think if people are landing on the influencer's content and then going over to your brand and it's completely separate, like night and day, people are going to get confused. And then consistency. So check the frequency of content posting. Is your influencer posting on a consistent basis? Have they not posted for like 3 months? What's going on there? Next, we want to talk about values and reputation. So making sure that, you know, the influencer's values and image align again with your brand. And then a reputation check. So look into the influencer's reputation, past collaborations, see how well they've done, see how long they might stick with a brand, and you know how they talk about brands. If you do your research and you find that some of their reviews and content they've done with other brands is often negative, that might not be a person that you would want to work with. And then legal and ethical considerations. So transparency. The influencer should be open to disclosing collaborations to maintain trust with their audience. And for compliance, ensure the influencer adheres to legal guidelines and ethical standards in advertising and promotions. There are a lot of legal stuff around people promoting things, having sponsored posts, we just want to make sure that, everything is good, because if they do something that's unethical, it falls back onto your brand. So this is another topic too, that we have actually done some presentations on in the past. But not only are there influencers that you can work with, but you can also be an influencer for your own brand. And why should you do it? One, it can build trust and authenticity. It can increase engagement, grows a community, and allows for more creative expression on your part. This is also probably the most cost effective, because you are promoting your own brand as well as promoting yourself. So essentially how it works, you have you want to identify your niche that aligns with your business. You are going to have all of your social media channels. You don't have to have this many. This is just for this gentleman right here. So you're going to use social media to build a community, share stories, and diversify your content. And then you're going to bring in your business. So you have your brand, and your brand has their own social media channels. So this is where you as the influencer can cross promote and collaborate with your own audience, especially if you are part of your brand and you are showing a face in your business, whether you're selling a product or you're selling a service. This is a great way for people to get to know you as a person. And then you can introduce your brand, or vice versa. If somebody's really interested in the brand, but they want to do a little more research, they can find you and learn about you and the person that actually built this brand. So what social media platforms are best for influencer marketing? Top one is Instagram. And I'm sure we're not really surprised with that one. So Instagram, a few points: it's visually appealing. It is definitely a very visual platform. It has diverse content formats. There's a lot from posts to stories, reels, carousels, lives, all of that kind of stuff. Super high engagement, because there was a lot of comment, a lot of engagement. It's very fast paced. And they have an easy to use collab feature. For those of you who haven't done so yet, if you post something to Instagram, you can easily invite somebody else to do a collaboration, or vice versa. So it's shared on both platforms. TikTok, again, I'm going to say this and some people are going to cringe, but TikTok has short and long form video. I'm not sure if everybody knows, but you can do everything from like a 3 to 4 second video all the way up now to like a 10-minute long video. TikTok has more potential for getting viral and having a video that could like blow up. The platform actually favors new content. For those of you who have used TikTok, if you've noticed, when you open the platform, it automatically goes to your For You page instead of who you're following. So it actually wants you to discover new accounts and new platforms, new content. They also have a very easy to use collab feature, very similar to Instagram. Another one is LinkedIn. This is more for your professional audience. Diverse content sharing. So we can do posts, there's link sharing, as well as articles and videos. There's a lot of networking opportunities, and resharing made easy. So if your company put out an announcement, a post, you can easily reshare it to your own personal influencer page. And then for Facebook, again, very diverse user base. This Facebook platform is still one of the most popular platforms. It has the largest amount of users. Is really great for community building with groups and all of that. And then really great for ad management. So now, how do you track your campaign performance when working with influencers? This is a big one. How do you know that your influencers are actually doing a good job? And you've got your money's worth. So before you start your campaign, I'm going to reiterate, you want to make sure that your goals are defined. What do you want to achieve? And you're really determining those key performance indicators, those KPIs. If you do not know what your goals are, it's going to be very hard for you to measure the success of your campaign. So you can track your metrics. So there's 3 key ones. You want to track your reach, you want to track your engagement, and then you want to track your conversion. So your reach is the total number of users who have seen the content. Your engagement is metrics like comments, shares, likes, and interactions. And then your conversions, this is where you're going to monitor the actions taken by users, such as like signups, downloads, purchase. This is closer to the end of the funnel. Analytics tools. So depending on what platform you're using, there are a lot of internal tools that you can use. So for Instagram, they have metrics that are built into the platform. You can go and take a look. If you want something more detailed, you can use Meta Business Suite. That one is for Facebook and Instagram. You can also use third-party tools if you are doing a campaign across multiple platforms. We have experience with quite a lot. We've used Hootsuite, we've used Buffer, and currently we're using Plan That. Laura, I'm not sure if you are able to put in a link to that platform, but it's really, really great. It is primarily for Instagram and for Facebook, but it's awesome. Or if none of these tools are working for you, you can create your own, which we have also done. So if you want something that is a little bit more custom, where you can see all of your platforms at once, we have created a social media calendar and like built-in analytics tool. You can follow the QR code at the very bottom here, or you can visit our website. Next, to track the success of your campaign, in most cases, your campaign is going to be related to something for sales. So either it's for subscribers, either you want to sell a certain product. So this is where you're actually going to track off of social media, and you are going to go over to your website. So there's a few ways that you can do this, and this might not apply to everybody, but you can track using influencer specific codes. So if you are working with a lot of influencers for a specific campaign, you can give each influencer a specific discount code to track how much traffic that influencer is bringing over to your website. So let's say you're giving all these influencers a code that gives their audience like 10% off. And you have one influencer that brought in like 25 people with that specific code, and you have another one that brought in 5. So you can then take a look to see what that influencer might be doing, and then what the one that brought in less, maybe what they're doing and why it didn't work. Next, you want to go onto your website and you want to monitor page and button traffic. So this can allow you to see if the campaign is actually working by following the path of your users. So if you have a campaign that involves people going to a certain landing page and then purchasing a product, you can see the traffic and the flow in which people get to purchasing that product. And then tracking your sales. So monitor the sales growth during the campaign. You might find that, if your sales are staying kind of consistent throughout the campaign, they haven't really spiked, they haven't increased, then that might be an indicator that your campaign is not as effective. Whereas if, from the start of your campaign, you got this huge spike, then it's like, okay, like something is working. So look for those patterns in your sales. You might even find and I'm hoping this would never happen, but if it's a decrease, maybe take a deeper dive, and something could have happened with one of your influencers that caused a negative effect on your brand. Lastly, I want to touch on something extra that you can provide influencers, and I don't notice a lot of people doing this, but we have done it with some of our past partners, and we have gotten really great feedback from it. But you can create a media kit or a welcome package for your influencers or your ambassadors. So this is something that you provide with them. It's just a little welcome. It can teach them about your company. You can add in helpful resources, additional links to maybe some of your other channels where they can get more information, keywords or phrases that you want them to use when describing your product. If it's for a certain campaign, you can get very specific on things that you don't want to talk about or things you want to mention, the link that you want them to go to. If you're doing a contest with your influencers, this is where you can add your information, how to use their discount code if provided, if you are giving out incentives or compensation details, and then contact information. This is a really good thing to have at the very end, because if you have a special team that is working solely with your influencers, it's important that they know who to contact when they have questions. So we're getting towards the end. There's some FAQs that I have that I know people are going to ask about. So I thought I would just jump ahead and do this guy. So do influencers have to have a lot of followers before you work with them? Absolutely not. So just because an influencer has 1 million followers, again, like I said, does not mean that their engagement rate is super high, or that if you work with them, that you are actually going to get conversions. You really want to focus on that engagement rate. And it's part of that research. Maybe you are running a campaign that is targeting local individuals, people within your area. So you might want to find an influencer that has a really strong reputation in that community. Doesn't mean they have to have a lot of followers. Maybe it's a smaller community, but everybody knows who they are. So they're going to have a really strong influence. How much does it cost to work with an influencer? This ranges from a lot of different perspectives. So if we think back to the types of influencers, in most cases, the nano and the micro influencers, the people that do have less followers, in most cases, either won't charge at all, or they will charge a very small amount per campaign. In some cases, they might just want your product. They might even be people that use your product all the time, and you reach out to them and be like, hey, I see that you use it. I'll send you a product early that we're launching in a bit. Can you do some reviews and can you do some promoting for it? And they might even say yes because they love your brand so much. In some cases, influencers might charge anywhere between $200 to $1,000 per campaign. And it will all depend on your campaign. So if you are asking them to put out 3 Instagram reels in the course of a month for that campaign, that's more content. So the more content that you are asking of them, the more they'll probably charge. And then this is a question that I asked at the end that I put in last minute because I've something I want to talk about. So what's the difference between an influencer and a brand ambassador? I know some people might think that they're the exact same thing. The terminology can sometimes get mixed up. So an influencer is normally someone that you would work with on a shorter time span. So it's usually per campaign. These are people that, again, you might reach out and say, hey, I want you to do a review on my product. Here's the campaign. And then it's usually done. Brand ambassadors are people that are in for the long haul. Those are the people that want to work with you more than just being an influencer. They want to be a part of your brand and a part of the experience and that community. In most cases, your brand, like a brand ambassador, is committed to a few products or even one, because they love the product so much and they are willing to work with you. So those people are usually like they're in for the long haul. Some resources that we've put together now that we've kind of reached the end. Laura and I have created an influencer ambassador tracker and manager using Notion. For those of you who aren't familiar with Notion, it's a free platform. It's really great for task management and organization. I will say that this particular download currently is only available in our Grow portal for Grow members. We do have a QR code in the bottom left-hand corner. But for those of you, again, who don't know too much about our Grow portal, it is a paid platform, but we have every single one of our downloads available in the Grow portal. And literally what you can do is sign up for a month. It's like $20, $21.60, download everything and then cancel. So, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff that's not available on our website. So take a look at this. It's awesome. Follow the QR code to learn more about Grow. Plus there's way more stuff in Grow. It's a great community. Other resources that we have for social media, these ones are available on our digital download shop. So we do have a social media strategy template that does help you learn more about influencers, as well as some other stuff for, social media content, Instagram engagement. And then we also just added a couple weeks ago an Instagram audit checklist. All of the stuff can be found in our QR codes here. Laura will drop the link to our shop in the chat.